Hi, just thought I'd post some updates on my drawings and as well as my brother's. First of all, I'm going to show you what Kyle has been doing lately.
Hey, this is a charcoal drawing I'm working on currently. It's actually, the process is really simple. What I did was crushed up a charcoal stick with just a regular knife, and then chopped it up into little pieces and just used a spoon to mash it more. And then what I usually do is grab some charcoal and then rub on a gradient that I think is suitable for the values of the drawing. And this is pretty much what I have done now. I'm pretty much almost done with it. I just have left is the hair in the background. This is pretty simple compared to other drawings.
Okay, well, Kyle just described the process and his technique of how he takes a paper stub and rubs charcoal onto the paper. Right now, what I really want to get at is to show you some of our other drawings that Kyle and I have done in the past, especially with colored pencil, because this will come into later use when I get to it. This is a drawing Kyle did in Academy College that was from observation. It's basically a still life done in Prismacolor pencil. And over to the left is my drawing of the same process, still life, using Prismacolor pencils. I'll zoom in to show some of the detail. I know it probably will not show up on YouTube, but you'll get the idea of the several colors I used in the still life. Well, this is our older drawing that Kyle had done for Spanish class in 12th grade, which was probably like 4 years ago actually. Yep. This was done entirely in colored pencil. It is a replicated painting of Salvador Dali's work. I'm not quite sure of the name, but
Metamorphosis of Narcissus.
Yep, Kyle just said what the title of the painting was. Anyhow, this is what it looks like from a closer view. This is a drawing that I done for Spanish class in 12th grade, which was also 4 years ago. Mine was a little bigger, but it still followed the same process using Crayola colored pencil. First we outlined it in pencil, then we went into colored pencil. You'll notice that it's a little bit more grainy than the other ones because Prismacolors seem to blend a lot more than this type of pencil. Alright, now I want to show you the latest work that I've done. And this is probably one of the more challenging works that I've ever completed in my entire life, actually. It took me about 97 hours and 15 minutes. And right here, I'll show you the size differences between these three works. You'll notice how much larger this one is. I did this commission for a friend for $100. I'm basically getting like $1 an hour, but it still doesn't matter because I was able to challenge myself because of the dimensions of the project. This was entirely done in Prismacolor pencils, well, and some use of Crayola pencil. The process was pretty difficult because of the tedious amount of different colors that I had to use that was involved in this work. As was seen in my previous video, my friend David wanted a commission of 2 fishermen. This one is Mike Iaconelli holding a bass. The original work, I believe, is in here actually. You can see how difficult I was having doing this work because of the size difference. I had to increase it a lot, and I had a lot of trouble with the face. However, I think it looks pretty similar. This is about the dimensions of the canvas that I had to transfer. It was pretty challenging, as I said earlier. However, I think it went pretty well. A lot of you are probably wondering my technique, but it really is quite simple. You basically put on a layer of colored pencil, then you take a blender or a white pencil to bring out the highlights as well as to blend the colors together. You can see that the bass doesn't seem to pop out as much as the face. The red really seems to have a solid and rich tone to it just because of the approach I've done and the fact that I had several reds compared to the color of the fish, which was pretty difficult to get a solid color from it just because a fish has so many different colors to the scales. I couldn't really approach at getting the scales correct, but for the time that I spent on it, it really doesn't seem to be so bad after all. If Kyle will get in the picture for a moment, he'll show you how much larger this piece is. If you can just lift it up. Yeah. Yup. And that's how big it is compared to his body. Okay. At this moment, Kyle wants to show me his other drawings that he completed this year. His repertoire is a little bit limited, but other than that,
This is what I first started off with. This is the Final Fantasy renditions that we did. We could probably use a lot more work because there's not much movement and it's kind of stiff. It needs a lot more curves with this one. But this is the one that I spent like 80 hours on. It's been a while since I've drawn. I guess I'm not as quick as my brother, but the technique I mainly used was with just mechanical pencil and pencil stubs. You can actually see quite a bit of difference between my brother's and I techniques. I tend to draw with slightly more darks compared to my brother, and he has more of a softer tone. But that's pretty much it.
okay. Well, as you can see, some of our works are pretty good, but we mainly stick with value work. So that suggests that
we could use a bit more work with
our technique,
more spontaneity with just drawing.
Especially with our technique and how do we approach that, because we don't have enough skill to create figures that are created from our head. So a friend of ours is helping us to improve that. She is an anime drawer, and Huey, one of my friends, had recommended her. So that's what we're going to work on. Name My C. She's
a good illustrator.
A very good illustrator with line art, and we are trying to improve that because our proportions.
Very good at drawing human in perspective.
Yeah, she's very good at drawing human in perspective. As you can see, the drawing here the proportions seem to be a little bit off, and yet with My C, she knows how to create energy in each of her drawings.
In a short period of time.
Yeah, a very short period of time. What we want to learn is how to create better illustrations just with line art rather than, per se, working with texture. As you can see, we successfully created several works that involve texture and value. So, as I stated earlier, right now we're probably going to work with anime or realistic sort of...
Just sketches.
Yeah, realistic sketches that seem to involve a lot of energy.
The first step of...
And have a lot of spontaneity to the drawing, especially when it comes to figure drawings. Anyhow, I think this is the end of this segment. If you just want to say something.
Yeah.
Alright, see you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time.